This is the session 2 by Hardeep sir on the communication, business communication. So let's start with this insightful session with Mr. Hardeep. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Very good evening to everyone out there. I hope I'm audible to you. So, if you can please confirm whether I'm audible or not.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
All right, and I hope that my PPT is visible, and this is module 2 that we have got, that is verbal communication. So, we're going to start, but before that, I would like to ask if there is any question, any query with respect to the previous module in which we did discuss about the introduction of communication. If anyone has got any question, any doubt, any query, something that you're not sure about, you are in confusion, so you are free to ask. Else, we can proceed with the second module. So shall we start, dear students? If there is no query, no doubt with regards to the previous session, so we can set the ball rolling for this particular session. Okay. So just to use an idiom, dear friends, just to use an idiom in the mention that in the chat box, set the ball rolling. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of this idiom? Set the ball rolling or get the ball rolling? Let's make the session interactive. Okay, so I would request people to respond whenever a question pops up. Okay, so what is the meaning of this expression, set the ball rolling? Anyone, you can turn on your mic and you can speak up. You can also write your answer in the chat box. What is the meaning of this idiom? Because in our day-to-day English, we also need to use idiomatic expression to sound advanced level speaker, to sound better. So we can use idiomatic expression. So there is one. So any idea about this without looking at the resources, if you can share the meaning of it? Till now, I'm not getting a response, so I would like people to respond to the same. I hope I'm audible enough, and in that respect, I would like you people to respond. Do you know the meaning? If you don't know the meaning, then kindly tell you're not sure about it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Vivek, you're right, to begin something. Yeah, initiate the process to begin something, to start something. That's what we call as set the ball rolling or get the ball rolling. So, dear students, here is the agenda that we have got. The agenda is very clear that we're going to talk about what verbal communication is, what do you mean by interpersonal skills, right? And what is active listening? How can we improve that? What is tone and clarity in communication? And then there will be practice activity or maybe the recap. Okay, in between there will be certain uh, to practice. That is what we call as MCQ, just like we had in the last class, right? So that's something we are going to do. So let's get started. If there is any doubt, any question, please raise your hand and put your query there. So here we have got, so we're going to discuss what is verbal communication. So before I start, let me pop this question again, because that's what communication is all about. As I mentioned in the last class, it's a two-way process. Communication is not a one-way traffic, it's a two-way process. So what do you mean by verbal communication? How would you define this? Yes, I again request people to respond. I'm not sure why there's no response this time around. How would you define this term verbal communication, dear students or dear friends?
I think verbal communication is a person-to-person communication, is a live communication.
All right, MS, that's okay. Communicating by speaking, that's what Vivek is saying. More answers are required. I think there are 40 participants in this session, in this class, so I would request other people to also respond. And if you do not respond, then communication would be one-way traffic. So it's not going to be fruitful anyway. Yes, anyone else, please? Verbal communication. I'm still waiting for the response. Yes, I'm going to tell you anyway, but you also need to participate. Explain our thoughts clearly. That's what Charan Reddy is saying. Yes. More answers are required. More answers would be welcome. More answers will ensure equal participation. So that is something which is our agenda. If you're in a communication class, you're not participating, then when on earth you're going to participate? So this is very, very important that you participate. This is not a football match where you're a spectator, you're participants, right? Abandon your inconsistencies and try to embrace communication. Oral way to communicate, that's what Divya is saying. Sharing information, Devendra is saying. Satish is saying opposite parties should understand what we are communicating. Okay, thank you so much for a couple of answers. That's Satendra is saying face-to-face communication. Dinesh is saying interaction with people openly rather than something. Writing, that's what we call as verbal communication. Yeah, thank you so much for your responses. And just to add to your ideas, what you people have said, that interpersonal personal skills. Manish is saying to convey our thoughts efficiently. All right, thank you so much for your responses. I'm absolutely glad by knowing your answers. Umesh is saying communicate verbally to convey and pass our views, thoughts with others physically or virtually. So interpersonal skills, yes, are the abilities that help individuals to communicate, interact, and build relationship effectively with others through verbal, non-verbal, and listening behavior. So that's what we call as interpersonal skill, which is a part of verbal communication. When I say verbal communication, yes, when you use words. Verbal means what? Verbal means words. Non-verbal means what? When you're not using the words, but you're using hand gestures. Okay, you're using body language, you're using eye contact, you're using other gestures to showcase your communication. So verbal communication means that communication that we are doing with by using words, that can be written as well, that can be speaking as well, my dear friends. And when it comes to the other part of it, that is interpersonal skill, that means that how can we develop, how can we communicate, how can we build relationship, how can we interact with other people. That includes both verbal and non-verbal communication. So when you are working in offices, when you are working in companies, okay, or wherever it is, the government organizations, non-government organizations, private organizations, we need interpersonal skills to make wholesome impact, to make very, I would say, more than a decent impact when it comes to people. That can be done with the help of interpersonal communication. As you can see the picture, dear friends, that there are people sitting and they are having an interaction. Okay, they are communicating, they are interacting. And why do we interact? Because we have to build relationship. We have to convey our thoughts, or convey your ideas. All your answers are right. Okay, we have to convey our feelings. That's what interpersonal skills are. And when you talk about verbal and non-verbal, both the skills come under the interpersonal skills. So that is what we call as verbal skills or interpersonal skills, dear friends. So till here, is it clear, students or dear friends? Any doubt? Are we on the same page? Could you please confirm by raising the hand, maybe, or by just giving your answers in the chat box? Yeah. Yeah, thank you for the responses, those who have given the responses. Anyone who's not on the same page, anyone who has not understood, anyone who believes that I am moving in a different direction or I'm going wayward, so please do tell me. Okay, fine. Now, students, what are the components of interpersonal skills? And I would like you people to help me to describe the same, because all these things are important when it comes to interpersonal skills. First was is listening. Here we can see that I am the sender, as we discussed in the last class. I am the sender, and we have got a medium. The medium is this online session or through Google Meet, and then you guys are the receiver. And after receiving the message, you are providing me the feedback. but before that you are listening to it. So listening is a very important component of interpersonal skills. Then comes empathy. Okay, so may I ask you this question? If you have any idea about the word empathy, I think last time around we did discuss this word came out in the picture, and there is a word sympathy, and then there is a word empathy. So can I just have a word from you people, or a message from you people, that how would you define the term empathy? Anyone, please? What do you mean by empathy? You can tell me with to understand someone's feeling. Vivek is saying, okay, thank you so much, Vivek, for your answer. May I request other people to also chip in? Chip in means what? Chip in means to contribute. So please contribute. Okay, in cricket, no, in cricket, if you someone watches cricket, and the wickets are falling, the opposition bowlers have taken the wickets, and then there are certain bowlers who are not actually bowlers but batsmen. They also sometimes bowl and they take wickets. And the commentator says that he has also chipped in with wickets. It means contributed for wickets. The way I saying to understand attention behind communication. Yes. Empathy actually means that when you are putting yourself into the shoes of the other person, right? When does it happen? When does it happen? Say, for example, when you are listening to the other person, right? The listening is of two types, active and passive listening. Do you have any idea, students? Active and passive. I'm writing in the chat box. This will help you to understand empathy. And if you don't have empathy, okay, most of the time your listening skills are not prospered. Our listening skills have not increased. Our listening skills have not developed. So can you tell me what is active and passive listening without looking at the resources? Tilak, I think you have raised your hand. Any question or any answer you would like to give?
Sir, I want to give, first of all, a very good evening. Nice to connect with you again.
Thank you so much, Tilak.
So, two grammatic forms is the sentence, relationship, and subjective, which we verb CS like that.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Tilak. Devendra is saying active directly contact with the person. Yes. Anyone else, please, who can chip in again, who can just discuss, who can just throw his idea to the table or put his idea on the table. Come on. How would you define active and passive listening? If you don't know the difference, then you will not be able to understand empathy, and then you will not able to apply empathy in listening. Active means subject is working and passive is work done on the subject. Vivek, you are defining that in the form of grammar. Here you are talking about active and passive voice. That is not my question. I'm sorry. My question is active and passive listening. If they are saying active is a way to communicate straightforward and passive is used for indirect and direct way to communicate. Okay, Divya, you have tried. Anyone else? Active means two-way exchange, Satish is saying. Okay, active listening is very simple. Active listening means that passive is one way. Active listening is this. If you are listening to me actively, yeah, that's right. Okay, Monte Thakur. Okay, you're listening to me, you're paying attention. Passive listening is when you are hearing, you're not listening. For example, if there is a fan over my head, now it's not running because it's winters, but if there is a fan over our head, okay, the voice of the fan, it is striking on my ears. But am I listening to the voice of the fan? No, I am hearing. That is passive form of listening. Yes, absolutely. Sumesh is just hearing and doing some parallel work. I'm sitting over here, right, and there is traffic outside, okay, or the cars are going, or the vehicles are going. That sound, the honking, okay, of the cars, the honking of the vehicles, it is striking on my ear. Sorry, it is striking on my ears. But am I paying attention to that? No, that is passive listening. Active listening is your friend is having some trouble and he wants to share something with you people. And then you are very attentive, then you're paying a lot of attention, then you are keeping your ears to that, close to that person. That is active listening. When you are paying attention, okay, when you have got a tremendous amount of curiosity, and that generates empathy. When you are listening actively, you can put yourself into the shoes of the speaker. And when you are able to put yourself into the shoes of speaker, you will be able to understand the other person better, and then you are an active listener. I hope it is clear. Tilak is saying active voice is when the subject. Yeah, Tilak, that is a different thing. Tilak, that is the different thing. That is grammar concept of active and passive voice, which is not our concept. Passive hearing opening second tab along with this meeting or using mobile phone. Yeah, that can be a good example in which you are hearing to my voice, but you're not paying attention to my words. Yes, that's right, Pradeep. So I hope this is clear. What is empathy? Empathy means, you can understand with this idiom. Idiom is what? Putting yourself into the shoes of the other person. When you are able to put yourself into the shoes of other person, you are able to understand that person thoroughly. Thoroughly means completely. Yes, that's right, Tilak. So that is empathy, students. That is a component of interpersonal skill. Next is clarity. Clarity is something I believe is very clear. Clarity is the clarity of thoughts, clarity of ideas, okay, clarity of sentences, okay, voice. That's what you call as clarity. Danas, you have raised your hand.
Yes, thank you so much. I was asking, where can you classify when people are having arguments together? Like they're having something that they are debating about. Where can you classify that? Is it active listening? Is it passive listening?
Yeah, that's a
Thank
very
you.
good question. Yeah, thank you so much. See, when it comes to debate or group discussion, Damas, as you asked the question, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If not, you can correct me. If in a situation of
Yes, it
debate,
is well pronounced.
yeah, if in a debate situation you are not paying attention to the other person's words, but you're only occupied what you have to say, doesn't matter what the other person is saying. That is passive listening. But when you pay attention to what other person is saying, accordingly you prepare your answer, you prepare your response, what you called as a rebuttal. That is a form of active listening. But your point is very valid. Most of the time during group discussion or debate, people don't pay attention to what other person is saying. Why? Because they are more interested in making sure that what they want to say, that should be taken care of. So most of the time people do not listen, and that is also a passive form of voice, because then there is cacophony. There's a word I'm using, cacophony. Dear students, if you can understand the meaning of this word, cacophony means that there is some discordant voice, that voice which is not good to your ears, or which is something which is not you're getting it. Cacophony, chaos, confusion. So that can happen during debate. Most of the time it happens that way. Damas. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, fine. Okay, then comes tone. Tone means that when it comes to uttering out or pronouncing certain words, what kind of tone you're using. It means that what kind of sound you are producing, right? That's what you call as tone. Yeah. And then comes final one, the non-verbal communication, which is very, very important, because someone has said a very nice thing, and I would like to tell you that if your words and body language, they are not in synchronization, if your words and body language, they are not in sync, you're telling a lie. So non-verbal communication, your body language, your posture, your eye contact, that is equally very, very important with respect to your words, with respect to your verbal communication. All these components, my dear students or my dear friends, they are components of interpersonal communication. I hope this is clear. Not clear, please do ask. Okay, we have got the first MCQ. So please ready for the MCQ. And please give your answers. You can write your answers in the chat box. Interpersonal skills primarily help in technical tasks only, building relationship and communication, avoiding conversation, memorizing content. So I can get the answer. I'm getting the answers thick and fast. Students, what is the meaning of thick and fast? What is the meaning of this expression, thick and fast? Yes, most of the people are going with B. Thick and fast means when you are getting something quickly. It's a very quick response. I'm very glad that you have given quick responses. Yes, building relationship and communication. So that is what we've got the answer when it comes to interpersonal skills. And I hope today you have understood that how can you develop your interpersonal skills. You need to be showcasing great amount of empathy. You need to make sure that you are clear. You need to make sure that your tone is very clear. You need to make sure that your non-verbal communication is playing equal role when it comes to establishing communication with the other person. Right. So that's what we call as interpersonal skills. I hope this is clear. Some of you people are raising the showcasing the emoticons. It means that we are on the same page. Moving ahead, my friends, we need to understand what is the importance of interpersonal skills. Since you guys are working or you guys are doing whatever, I mean, in your academics or whatever, building teamwork is most important. What is team? They say that, I think I mentioned that in the last class, together everyone achieves more. Now just understand, or just think of a situation if there is no teamwork, people are not on the same page, okay, then things will not fall in place. Please understand the meaning of this idiom now, fall in place. Fall in place means that things are moving or things are going in the right direction. Okay, so if you have got interpersonal skills, okay, as you can see the picture, you will have better teamwork. Everyone would be aligned, everyone would be on the same page. There will be fewer conflicts. What is the meaning of conflict? Last time we discussed that. Conflict. Anyone, please? Turn on your mic, you can speak up. Or you can write your answer in the chat box. Conflict. What is the meaning of the word conflict? With less confusion, Vidya is saying. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah, that is conflict. Conflict means that when we have got two parties, okay, or there is an element of confusion or there is an element of disagreement, that's what we call as conflict. So conflict would be less because your interpersonal skills are good. You know the value of communication, right? Then obviously it will have positive workplace. Just imagine, okay, when there is a great amount of empathy between people, what will happen? Among people, there is great amount of empathy, or among people, there is great amount of understanding. There is no communication barrier. Last time we discussed about communication barrier, if you remember. What will happen? There it will be a positive workplace relationship with everyone would be optimistic. You know, meaning of optimistic, students? What is the meaning of optimistic? I've written in the chat box. Yeah, that's right, Damas. Your answer is right. Conflict, communication becomes better. Optimistic, yeah, that's right, Vivek. When you're talking about optimistic, it means someone who's been very good, okay? Someone who's been very sanguine or positive, okay? That's what we call as optimistic, right? So I hope so. This is clear. Yeah, a person having hope of something, yes. And then there's another word, students, that is sanguine. Sanguine is another word. Sanguine also means being positive. Okay, that's a beautiful word. Please note down this word. Beautiful word, sanguine. And lastly, it will enhance your credibility. Any idea about this word credibility without looking at the resources? If you can tell me what is credibility? Yeah, dear friends, if you can please tell me what is credibility? Trusting, Mustafa is saying. Okay, anyone else, please? Anyone else? To define things. Okay, good. Anyone else, please?
Okay, yeah. I think credibility is the quality of being trusted or believed in.
Yes, absolutely, Damas. Okay, when you're talking about being trusted, okay, so you will enhance your credibility because then you would be considered as a credible person, someone who can be trusted upon, someone who can be banked upon. You know, that's what we call as credibility, right? So this is what we have got. So I hope this is clear to everyone. Moving on, okay, so this is something which is the importance of interpersonal skills. If you have got good interpersonal skills, this will be the result in front of you. This will be the result in front of you. Better teamwork, fewer conflicts, positive workplace, positive environment, and your credibility would be enhanced. Yeah, that's right, a faith, kind of faith. Yes, Kamal. Yeah. Then comes students' active listening. Okay, active listening, I discussed that before with you people when we were talking about active and passive difference. Active listening is the skill of fully focusing on understanding, responding to, and remembering what the speaker is saying. And if you can see the picture, look at the picture. Please pay attention to the picture. If you see the picture, the person is the person whose face you can see is focusing and paying a lot of attention to what the other person is saying, right? And without interruption or without judgment, you are just paying attention. You are listening to the other person, focusing, fully attentive, at the same time showcasing great empathy. That is active listening. So there is no room of passivity. There is no room of negligence. There is no room of interruption. There is no room for judgment. You are fully paying attention to what the other person is saying. That's what we call as active listening. Now you can tell me that how many times we need to have active listening. Yes. Can you give me some examples where we need to have active listening, please? I request students to please, or friends, to come forward and give me some examples of scenarios in which we have to display active listening. Yes, I'm waiting for the response. For that, I would like you people to speak. Do not write your answer in the chat box. Okay, Somesh has written it. Emergency cases in public place, customer requirements. Yeah, I would like you people to speak on this.
Listening your classes, sir.
Listening to the classes. Sai has given the response. Okay, fine. Anyone else, please?
So in the morning meeting.
In the morning meeting, yeah. Yes. Any other example? So many examples are there, by the way. Give me more examples by speaking. During interview, in a class, student versus teacher, some interview session, morning meeting. Yes, more answers are required.
Okay.
When our father is giving advice, so that we should.
Yeah, Satish first. Satish.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What was your answer?
So when our father is giving any advice, good advices, we should do active
When
listening.
our father is giving good advice. Okay, fine. Yeah. Yes, Damas, you were saying something, my friend. Recent example are we are taking class actively. That's what Kamal is saying. Pradeep is saying family problem. Tilak is saying good professional communication. Yes. There are other scenarios also. So many other scenarios are there. Can you give me more examples?
Listening to the judge during court time.
Yes, absolutely. Doctor's suggestion. Recent examples we are taking in the class activity. Yes. More answers. I'm willing to listen from you people. Discussion with personal, Siva Shankar is saying. Okay, good.
Announcements.
Announcements, yes. Very good. Say, for example, you are in the examination hall. Right? Great example. Absolutely. Yeah, your examples are fabulous. Yes. You're sitting in the examination hall and the invigilator is reading out the instruction. Can you afford to be a passive listener in that scenario? Not at all. You have to be an active listener, because if you skip anything, any information, you will be in a trouble. Okay, so that is a great example. Another great example, we can say that. Okay. I hope this is clear to you. Yeah, any other example? Yes, when the doctor is giving you some diagnosis. Yes, that's another example. Yes, some people have given that. When doctor is giving you some diagnosis, again, you pay a lot of attention to that and you listen to that very carefully. So that is another wonderful example, right? Then comes railway platform announcement. Yes, you are on the railway platform, okay, or maybe you are at the airport. You have to pay a lot of the attention because you miss some important information. You're going to miss the flight. You're going to miss the train, maybe, right? So this is another example of active listening. So my dear students, thank you so much for your examples, and I believe that you are pretty clear. You are very much clear that what it means by active listening. Wonderfully done. Okay, and I believe that everyone is on the same page, right? Just give me a moment. Right. Moving on. There are some barriers also when it comes to active listening, right? The barriers are very easy to understand. Distraction. What is distraction? Can you give me an example of distraction? Counseling about our career. Yeah. Can you give me an example of distraction? Very easy.
It's something that gets you away of the topic.
Yes. When you are listening to me, or when I am talking to you, maybe I'm using phone or you are using phone. That is what? Distraction. Right? There is a class going on, and outside there are vehicles honking. That is also a distraction. Right? Assumption. What do you mean by assumption? How assumption can be a barrier? Easily disturbed while study. Yes, Divya. How assumption can be a barrier to active listening? Students, please understand it and give me example. Anyone? Prejudice. Yes, prejudice. Assumption means what? Say, for example, you are in the class. Yeah, think unnecessary. You are in the class, but you already assume, okay, this is a very easy topic, or the teacher hasn't explained it better, or I don't think so. This the teacher will explain it, or will do justice with the topic. What is that? That is your assumption. You've already assumed that maybe I know better than him or her, or maybe the speaker doesn't have the tendency, doesn't have the propensity to elucidate the topic. Okay, I'm using this word propensity. Propensity. What is the meaning of this word? Just for your information, propensity means tendency, inclined to do something, right? Or then I use the word, yeah, family noise while in live session. That is a good example of distraction, right? So when you are assuming that you know better or the other person doesn't know, that is assumption. That is going to be a barrier. Because when you have already assumed, then you're not going to pay attention. Then interrupting, yes, interrupting, we all know that if someone is speaking and continuously you are interrupting, that is not going to help the cause of listening. And thinking ahead, don't like if anyone disturbs. Yes, thinking ahead means what? Already you are thinking about the next thing. You're not in the present, but you're thinking about the next thing. For example, you're probably saying that I'm discussing something with you, but then you're thinking, what can be the next question? So you're what? You're not paying attention to what the teacher is saying. You are thinking ahead what next thing would be. So that is a barrier. Apart from that, there are so many other barriers. Lack of that about the knowledge about topic by speaker. Yes, there are so many other barriers. For example, language barrier, psychological barrier. Psychologically, you are not paying attention. Okay, then physical barrier. You are not feeling well. You are having fever. You're going through fever, and then you're not able to pay attention. Why? Because you're having fever. You're not able to concentrate. Right? So barriers are so many. Yes, absolutely. We stop listening to that person because we believe we know that everything. We know the person. We know everything, or the other person doesn't know. So sometimes we discuss with foreigners. This time we try to more and more focus, pay attention, but we are not able to their tone. Is it distraction? And how to avoid this thing? How to get them their tones? Okay. So, Mesh, when it comes to this is a more of an issue of accent rather than distraction. Okay. What we need to do is that for that we need to be an active listener, and for that, when it comes to foreigners, for that you need to listen to the audios or listen to the people who have got different accent. It is not about the distraction, Sumesh. It is more about the accent. The point is of accent that we Indian people have got different accent. The foreigners, they have got different accent. So it is more of the concept of that. For that, you need to listen a lot. You need to listen to Americans. You need to listen to Australian because they have got different way of speaking. They have got different accent. If you listen to an Englishman, then you would find the accent is different. So the question is about accent here. But for that, you need to do practice. It's not going to happen overnight. So, Mesh, I hope I've answered your question. Yeah, learning from podcasts, Tilak, yes, learning from podcasts, learning from YouTube, variety of sources are there. But end of the day, you got to make sure that you are inculcating that in your personality. Otherwise, no matter you watch, you listen so many things, you read so many books, whatever, but you've not incorporated, your skills have not improved, then everything will fall flat. Everything is futile. Futile means what? Futile means pointless, right? I hope it is clear. Before I proceed, I'm giving a 1 minute breather to recollect your thoughts, okay? And if there is any question, please ask. And if you are okay with that, then please also give your answer. That we are on the same page, right? Or there's nothing, there's no problem. So I'm giving a 1 minute breather before I proceed. So please, if you can confirm. Yes, are we on the same page, dear friends? If no problem, please confirm, maybe by showcasing emoticon, or maybe by speaking up, maybe by writing the message in the chat box. Thus, we can proceed. Okay. So some of you are giving the responses, right? Fair enough. Yeah, moving on, the techniques to of active listening. As you can see the picture. I think with every slide I have put pictures, and I have put the picture deliberately to understand what I'm trying to say. Eye contact. People sometimes speak. You know, and as a teacher, I have observed that people speak and students speak in the classes, but at times they don't have eye contact. They are not making eye contact with the audience. This is something which is a problem. So for good listening, for active listening, you need to have eye contact with the speaker. Second is clarifying question. Yes. Well, Somesh, I think you can ask Shreyansh sir that how it can be provided. I have no problem. I can provide the same. Yeah, clarifying question, that how you are going to clarify. If there is any doubt, please politely ask the speaker. Do not interrupt. Yeah, do not interrupt. Politely ask the speaker that this is something you have not understood. Could you please repeat that? But being polite, be very courteous. Could you please repeat the point? Could you please say this again? Could you please come again? Generally, we say that, come again. Or generally, we say that, sorry, I couldn't get that. Could you please repeat? Very politely, in a very courteous manner, you have to ask. Then paraphrasing. What is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing means that when you are able to rephrase what the speaker has said in your own words. For that, you need to be an active listener. Say, for example, I am talking about importance of exercise, importance of fitness in our lives, and I'm telling you that you can do aerobics. Okay, you can go to a gym, you can go for a walk. Okay, variety of things. You have to paraphrase. Now the speaker is saying, "What is your point of view?" Okay, you can only give the answer if you have listened to that person actively, and then you can paraphrase it. You can say that in your words, in your own ideas. That is called as paraphrase. And the last is, obviously, we discussed that as a barrier also, avoid interrupting. Do not interrupt when the other person is speaking. These are the techniques that you can apply. And I'm keeping it very simple for you. I'm not getting into the details or not getting into the wordy element. I'm keeping it very simple. Most of my PPTs are picture based, okay, because you need to understand the fundamental of communication, fundamentals of communication. That's what you need to understand. I hope this is clear. And if it is not, again, you can put your questions, right? There's a question for you. Yeah, that is a question for you. Yes. Which is not an active listening behavior? Which is not an active listening behavior? Interrupting, paraphrasing, nodding, asking question. I hope you are aware of the meaning of the word nodding. So if you can please tell me what is the right answer for this? A, B, C, D. I've got one answer for Daniels at this point in time. Other students, other friends, please, if you can respond and give the answer, I would be glad. Paraphrasing and restating someone else's ideas in own words. Yes, exactly, correct. That's what I said. Bhanu, Charan, they have given the answer. Other people, if you can also chip in. I've already told you what is the meaning. Pralay has answered. Kamal, Pradeep. Okay. Others as well, if you can give your answers. There are at the moment 36 people out there. Praveen. Okay. So, Mesh, yes, they have given the answer. The correct answer is interrupting, yes. Paraphrasing, yes. Stating something or giving something in your own words, yeah, that's right. Vidya, Moses as well. And nodding means when you are giving, showcasing your nodding, when you're nodding your head, okay, showcasing your response by, using your hand. That's what you call as nodding. Asking question, obviously, that shows that you are an active listener. And of course, interrupting is the right answer. That when you interrupt, that is not a part of good listening. Now comes tone. What kind of tone you need to have? What is tone when it comes to communication? As you can read, tone in communication refers to the emotional quality or attitude. Again, look at the picture. Again, look at the picture. Picture is telling you 1,000 things. It tells you, refers to the emotional quality or attitude expressed through a speaker's voice or choice of words, which influences how the message is understood and perceived by the speaker. Tone means sometimes people are happy, sometimes people are sad, sometimes people are angry, sometimes people are aggressive. Okay, so accordingly they say things. Sometimes people are enthusiastic. For example, I'm very enthusiastic to deliver the lecture. Okay, so my tone is quite enthusiastic, and you are also perceiving that perhaps in an enthusiastic manner. When someone is sad, okay, you will also perceive the message in a very mournful way. Someone is happy, okay, your message will be perceived in a very happy way, right? So tone means that how the speaker is uttering out. It is the emotional quality, or it's the attitude, the way I am speaking, the way I'm uttering out the words. Tone is related to words, mind you. Tone is related to the words. The choice of words also is done accordingly. For example, I'm enthusiastic to deliver the lecture, so my tone is very much enthusiastic. It is full of zeal. It is full of vibrancy, right? So tone means that how you deliver the words, not the sentences, the words, the choice of words. That is your tone. I hope this is clear. Yeah, this is what I was telling you. Yeah, as you can see, the quote also, I've inculcated the quote. It's a way of speaking. It's a way of uttering out the words. Kamal, how you utter out. Utter out means how you speak out the words, the choice of words, right? So that, for example, I would say that today we're looking absolutely fantastic. So my tone is enthusiastic. I'm happy. Okay, so I'm emphasizing on the word fantastic. So that is tone. You can see this quote. It's not about what you said. It's how you said it. Precisely. This is what the point I'm making. Yeah, this is the point I'm making. It's about how you say. That matters. It's not about what you say. It's about how you say. So the tones are formal tone. If you are working in office, you're talking to your heads, talking to your seniors, your tone would be very formal. Okay. Hello, sir. Good morning. You will be having formal greetings, right? Okay. Could I ask you a question? You will be very formal. Friendly. Okay. So friendly tone is that when you are very comfortable with the other person, your tone will be very friendly. Assertive. What is this? What is assertive tone? Anyone? Without looking at any resources, can you tell me what is assertive tone? Anyone? Very passionate way of talking. Okay, the way I say. All right. Anyone else? In command. Yes. Yeah, assertive is like when for example, I'm sitting in the interview and the interviewer asks me this question, tell me something about your passion, right? And my answer is, sir, if I talk about my passion, I have got reading. I also have some interest in playing cricket and watching cricket at the same time. So I'm saying this. It is right. Okay, the way I've said that is absolutely right. But my tone doesn't have assertiveness. Yeah. So probably I can say, sir, if I talk about my passion or interest, I love watching cricket. At the same time, I love playing the game. At the same time, if I talk about my other type of interest, I like to improve my vocabulary. So this is the tone, assertive tone, full of conviction. I'm writing this word. Conviction. It means when you are very sure about yourself. That is assertive tone. Yeah. I hope this is clear. Passive. Passive means that again, you're not paying attention. Okay, tone is very down and out. That is passive. Aggressive, when you are a little bit angry, when your tempers are flying in the air. So that is aggressive kind of tone. Yes, that's right. They are angry. Right. I hope this is clear to everyone. So what are the errors that we can avoid? The tone errors that we can avoid. First tone error that we make is rude. When you are sounding very rude. There's another word we use, boorish behavior. You know what is boorish behavior? I'm very rude. Okay. For example, you said that you asked me that when is the meeting, and the response I'm giving the response. Well, I don't know. Kindly do not ask me. That's very rude, right? That tone is very rude. So you can't afford to do that. Uninterested. Uninterested. You popped up a question. I am not interested at all in giving the response. That is also an error or a mistake that you commit when it comes to communication, and your tone suffers. Sarcastic. What do you mean by sarcastic, students? Sarcastic means what? Terrible ways. Jive. Yeah. When you're taking a jive at someone, Dinesh is saying, at the same time, when you are trying to pull someone's leg. Oh, now you guys are taking English classes, huh? This is what? This is sarcastic tone. This is sarcastic tone, right? This is sarcastic tone. Why? Because you're trying to pull someone's leg. Pulling someone's leg is an idiom for that, which means that when you are trying to, poke someone, yeah, bullying someone, and when you're sounding aggressive. As you can see the picture again. Look at the picture again. The picture is very suitable when it comes to tone in your errors. You have to, if you talk about my PPTs, you have to look at the pictures also, because picture is telling you what I'm talking about, or what actually it means by communication. Right? So you can't afford to have such kind of scenario. Okay, students, there's a question for you. I said I will do it. An angry tone shows what? Tone conveys attitude. Words are enough. Tone doesn't matter. Listener, ignore tone. What is the answer to that? I've got one answer from Divya. I've got an answer from Damis. I've got an answer from Ayush. I've got an answer from Vivek, Sai, Charat, Pradeep, and most of the people have gone with A. So tone conveys attitude. Yes, it showcases your bad attitude. Okay. Can you repeat the not understand? Tilak, what I'm saying is that I think you're asking about this question. Maybe if you're asking about this question, I can repeat. You can also speak up if you are not sure about that. I said I will do it. In angry tone showcase what? Yeah, it showcases that tone doesn't matter. No, it does matter. Listener, ignore tone. No, you cannot afford to ignore tone. Words are enough. No, tone is conveying attitude. You are showcasing wrong attitude over here, or you're showcasing angry attitude over here. So that is what the message is conveying. Right? I hope this is clear. If not clear, you can ask. Okay, moving on. Now we have come to the last part of the session, that is clarity. How can we imbibe clarity? My dear students, in my class, we will learn plenty of new words, as I told you. So another word to learn is imbibe. Imbibe means what? Imbibe means to inculcate or try to incorporate something. The last thing that we need to have is clarity. Imbibe. Another word for that is inculcate. I'm writing in the chat box. Clarity in communication means expressing your ideas. Again, look at the picture. Again, the picture is absolutely suitable for what I'm saying. In a simple, organized, easy to understand manner, so the listener or reader can grasp the message without confusing or ambiguity. Yeah. Well, Divya, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but this is not transparent or okay, clarity. That's why I think we're defining clarity. Yes, absolutely. There are a couple of words. First of all, please understand the words. First word is grasp. Grasp means to grab something, to take something. Then there is another word, ambiguity. And if I use this word as a noun, If I use this word as a noun, that would be ambiguous. What does it mean? It means one thing has got more than one meaning, which is confusing. That is called as ambiguity, which is a noun, and ambiguous, which is an adjective, right? So this is what we talk about clarity. Simple message, easy to understand, okay, organized, without any confusion. Or another definition, I put it in a very simple way, being concise. Concise means short, structure, and avoiding any form of ambiguity. That can also be defined in terms of what we call as clarity. And the picture is also saying the same, where the person is trying to explain something in a simple, in a easy, or in a very understandable manner. Yes, cumbersome is another word. Yeah, right. So this is what we call as clarity. How can we improve clarity? As again, you can see the picture. We can simply improve the clarity by using simple language, right? Yes, we can use jargons. Jargon, I told you in the last class, typical set of words for typical field. We can use some vocabulary depending upon what kind of audience we have got, right? Then your sentence should be logical. Simple sentence, compound sentences you can use. Avoid fillers. What do you mean by fillers? Students, in the chat box, I have asked you a question, or I'm asking you by speaking as well. What do you mean by fillers? How can you define the word filler? Assumptions, okay? Vidya has given. Anyone else? Say, I'm saying like this, right? Filler is a word that occurs this, right? Yeah, so these who are, okay, so when you are not able to utter out the sentence continuously, that's what we call as fillers. Avoid fillers. You can use these, you can use filler words to fill the gaps. Like, let me tell you, sometimes you use that, right? That is what we call as fillers, right? I hope this is clear. And try to give examples. That's very, very important. Okay, for example, I'm talking about empathy. So then I can give you an example. As a teacher, when I'm listening to my students, right? When I'm listening to my student, I have to put myself in the place of the student. That can be an empathy. So that's a good example of empathy. So try to give more examples, right? Yeah, taking break, thinking for how to deliver or explain, that is called as filler. It happens when you are not fluent in speaking. So that's the way you can improve clarity, my dear friends. So finally, tone versus plus clarity, if they come together, what will happen? That will help in good communication. Correct tone, clear message, and positive body language. That's absolutely indispensable. What is the meaning of indispensable? Indispensable means logical structure, Tilak, means that when it comes to simple sentences, for example, I am asking you, give me your introduction. So then you would say that I am 19 years old, my name is Tilak. So that is illogical structure. You will firstly give your name, right? You would say that my name is Tilak Sawant, I am 19 years old, whatever is your age, right? That is called as logical structure. Sentences are flowing in a logical manner. Okay? Coherent manner. This is also called as coherence. Yeah. Indispensable means what? Indispensable means, students, which is absolutely necessary. So if you want to have good communication, you need to have correct tone. Your message should be clear and positive body language. That will help you to give or develop your communication better. And finally, students, non-verbal communication. Okay, again, you can see the picture. You can see the picture. My effort is to showcase more from the pictures, right? Non-verbal communication, the posture, the way you are sitting, your facial expressions, eye contact, gesture, space, right? All these are non-verbal communication, which are equally important when it comes to communication. Without non-verbal communication, communication is incomplete. So you need to have proper eye contact, your facial expressions, right? eye contact, as I mentioned earlier, gesture, dress and appearance also, all these things, they include non-verbal communication, right? On that note, let's have a question for you, and then there is small activity lined up. Which of the following best describes clarity in communication, dear friends? Using long and detailed explanation, speaking faster to cover more points, expressing ideas in a simple and easy to understand manner, using complex vocabulary to sound professional. What is the answer? If you can please give the answer quickly in the chat box, it would be fantastic. So I'm waiting for your answers. If you can please give the answer. Which of the following best describes clarity in communication? Using long and detailed explanation, speaking faster to cover more points, expressing ideas in a simple and easy to understand manner, using complex vocabulary to sound professional. I haven't got the answer still, so I'm a little bit surprised.
So the answer will be express ideas in simple and easy to understand manner.
Okay, Tilak has given the answer and Tilak is saying C is the answer. Other students, you're not responding, kindly respond.
Yeah, sir. I want to go with C option.
You want to go with the C option, Dinesh? Yes.
Yes.
Other people, if you can please respond. You can write your answer simply in the chat box also. And it would be fantastic if you can speak up. But
C is the answer, sir.
okay, Bhanu has also gone with C. Other people are not responding. I'm not sure why.
C is the answer, sir.
C, one more answer that is from Pradeep, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. C is the correct answer, expressing ideas in a simple and understandable manner. Okay, so that is what we call as good communication, right? Last question is there. Which behavior shows active listening? Interrupting to give your opinion, maintaining eye contact and paraphrasing, checking your phone while someone is talking, preparing your reply while the other person speaks.
Sir, B. B.
Okay, couple of answers
B
I've
met.
got.
So B option.
Okay. Oh, now I'm getting the answers. I believe. I think. Oh, yeah. I've got the answer for the previous one, right? So I didn't see it. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you so much for all the answers. Yeah. B. Maintaining your proper eye contact. That is absolutely important. Now, student, there is a small activity for you, right? So I would like 2 students to come up. Anyone who's willing to speak, please raise your hand and please turn on your mic. Yeah, I would request 2 students to please come up. Student A will speak for 20 seconds or maybe 30 seconds on any topic of his or her choice. Example, their morning, their hobby, their favorite food or whatever. These are some just example. Then comes student B who is just going to listen to that without any interruption and then give a one-line summary of what student A has said. Just to ensure that we have listened it correctly and we have paraphrased it correctly. Okay, Damas has raised the hand. Yes, I would like one more student, please. One more student, please. Okay, Bhanu Pratap. Okay. All right, Damas, please choose any topic of your choice. Okay. Bhanu Pratap, you just need to paraphrase that and you have to just say that whatever Damas has said in one sentence. Firstly, Damas will say, yeah, Damas, what is your topic?
I'll be talking about my morning.
You're talking about your morning. Okay, let me just put the
Morning.
timer on, Damas. Just a moment. Let me put the timer on. Okay, stopwatch. Let me put the stopwatch on. Okay, so ready? Are you ready, Damas?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so you have got 30-second time to speak, right?
Okay.
Your time starts now.
Good morning, everyone. Today I just woke up. I had my breakfast. I've eaten delicious food. It was very delicious. I like the chef who cooked it. I would every day come up to this place to take breakfast. Thank you so much.
Okay, you have taken only 19 seconds to give your answer. Now, Bhanu Pratap, if you can please come up and try to give maybe 1 or 2 sentences in response to what Damas has said. Bharu Pratap.
So Damas is saying he's wake up and eat the breakfast and then going to work.
But paraphrase it, Banu. Paraphrase
Oh,
it. Paraphrase it. These are the exact things what he has said. You need to paraphrase it and you have to tell in one sentence.
sorry, sir.
Okay, no problem. Anyone else? Anyone else who can just paraphrase what Banu, what Damas has said? Anyone else? Raise the hand. Come on. Anyone else, please? Kindly raise the hand. What Damas has said. Can you just uh, say the same thing in one line summary? What he is talking about? Okay, Mustafa. Mustafa, you raise the hand. Mustafa, are you there? Yes, Mustafa, you can speak up. Well, I'm not able to hear Mustafa, but he raised the hand. Anyone else? Anyone else who can please just respond to what Damas has said? Okay, no one is speaking. I don't know why, but
Hi,
yeah.
sir. Sir, in the cooking and delicious food, these are the summaries of the.
Okay, Siva Shankar has given the answer. Yes. Anyone else who would like to respond? No problem, Mustafa. Anyone else? One more answer, please. One more answer. One more response to what Damas has said. Banu and Siva Shankar, they have responded. One more answer would be fantastic. One more answer, please. I'm still waiting for your response. One more answer. Let's be a participant. Let's not be a spectator, students or friends. One more answer will do. Okay, I'm not sure why there's lack of response, but yeah, I can simply say, don't you think, sir? I can simply say to Damas that he is talking about his morning. Can I say that? That is paraphrasing. He is just talking about his morning schedule. Yes, that's right, Divya. He is just talking about his morning schedule. That's how I can paraphrase that. So the idea of this activity is that if we are an active listener, we can paraphrase it and we can bring a difference to our communication. Anyone else who would like to come now and do this activity once again? Kindly raise two hands. I would like. Yeah, that is exactly what he said, Shubham. But I am saying that please paraphrase it and say it in a different way. What he said. That is the trick. Okay, anyone else? Please, students, anyone else who would like to come and contribute? Two students, okay. Two more students, if anyone can come and do this activity. Maybe you can talk about your hobby or talking about your favorite food or any other topic of your choice. Not a problem. Okay, on that note, I think I'm done with the lesson. I hope you have understood what it means by verbal communication. How can we improve that? But I'll tell you that you have to practice. You have to come up and you have to speak. You have to raise your voice. You have to raise your bar. Only then the communication will improve, because remember, communication is a two-way process. On that note, I'll say thank you so much. So I'll say, I'll ask Shreyansha to please come in, and if you have to give any closing remarks for the same, I'm done. Any question or doubt you can ask.
Everything is clear, sir.
Okay, thank you. Shreyansha, are you there? Would you like to have the closing remarks?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I request everyone to please fill the attendance form before leaving. I'm sharing it in the chat box. Thank you, Hardeep sir, for your insightful session.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you. Thank you, students. Thank you, everyone. Okay. And
Okay, sir.
would like to
Good night.
continue the session. Thank you. But try to embrace communication, try to improve it. Remember, it's
Thank
the
you, sir.
hard skills that will get you an interview, but it is the soft skill that will get you a job. On that note, thank you so much. Good night. Take care. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.